One of the major highlights of Nigeria's abysmal security situation is the strength and growth of the country's kidnap industry. Kidnap for ransom accounts for a very high share of the security crisis the largest economy and most populous country in Africa faces. Although the most dominant imperative for that industry is finance, motivations differ according to armed groups and/or geopolitical zones. The country's geopolitical zones have their unique challenges. Some of these challenges include a fratricidal civil war between the Hausas and the Fulanis, which is a sub-cause of the banditry and pastoral conflicts in the northwest, clashes between indigents and settlers in the north-central, Boko Haram in the northeast, youth gang clashes in the southwest, sea piracy in the south-south, and a separatist agitation in the southeast. But kidnap for ransom is a feature that cuts across these zones. Ideologically driven armed groups with religious motivations also engage in kidnappings to make maximum concessions of prisoner swaps from the government, as the Kaduna train attack of March 2022 has shown. Recently, a new trend has emerged: the abduction of Catholic priests. In 2020, SBM's report, The Economics of Nigeria's Kidnap Industry, stated that between 2011 and 2020, Nigerians paid just below $20 million to kidnappers. Based on what we could verify, between July 2021 and June 2022, no fewer than 3,420 people were abducted across the country, with 564 others killed in violence associated with abductions. In the ensuing period, 6.531 billion naira was demanded in exchange for the release of captives, while a fraction of that sum, 653.7 million naira, was actually paid as ransom. Using the exchange rates between the naira and the US dollar as of the 1st of August 2022, these figures translate to almost $10 million demanded and more than $1 million paid. These figures were particularly important because of the rising poverty levels in the country. In 2020, Nigerians spent 62% of their income on food, leaving very little disposable income and non-discretionary spending. Over the past few years, Nigerians have become even poorer, following how much they have had to part with for their loved ones. And now kidnappers are adapting, sometimes asking for ransom payment in forms other than money, such as phones, foodstuff, drugs, and in one instance, a gun was paid as ransom. These abductions, which are almost evenly distributed across the country, have an impact on the Nigerian economy, as it has limited business and investment in the heaviest hit areas. This ranges from travel to starting new businesses and attracting investments. On the other hand, it appears that the bulk of kidnappings are done by disparate criminal groups solely for the purpose of ransom. This illustrates the extent of the challenge of illegal arms in Nigeria, coupled with an overwhelmed security architecture and other socio-economic factors such as high unemployment, which have formed the cocktail that has created an avenue for numerous gangs to see kidnapping as a route to making money. The frequency of abductions is a spotlight on the state's capacity to keep its people safe, and the rise of an armed group like Ansaru, who promise protection from both the government and other armed groups, is a threat not just to government authority, but also to state territory, leading to a fight for control of Nigeria's ungoverned spaces and other contested territories.